Good morning! Welcome to Bad Squiddo Sunday Morning Coffee. I am here on time. Woo woo! It is episode number 111, and here we are. Welcome. I'm surprised I'm on time myself. I was hanging around in the chat there thinking, I wonder what thing I'll roast beforehand. And it was give a pepper to the guinea pigs, but that's all very quick. Got a lot to get through. We got there looking in the comments. It's bright. It's got my family tree up there. I've obviously been enjoying streaming from the kitchen, so I'm going to keep doing that. It means I don't have to I've kind of got to set lights and stuff up in the living room, but it's kind of okay here. I did get another light to try and flatter myself better, but I couldn't be bothered. So there we are. Bright jumper on today as well. It's all very bright and colourful. Where shall I start? I have my mug fans. I have the World's Greatest Entrepreneur Award on me today, which was awarded by one of my brothers, Michael, many years ago, and he's probably surprised that I still got it, but there it is. Morning, Andrea. You've not missed anything yet. Just beginning. I've got a whole page of stuff to get through. Some positive, some not so positive. But let us crack on. How are you all doing today? We had a lot of fun in Baggy's cave yesterday. I say that in a sulking way. Somebody had lots of fun. Just move that. Ooh. It's better. Could get more of my jumper in. That's why. Yes, Baggy's Cave. I think most people here are in it, but not everyone has the Facebook. Baggy's Cave was very ridiculous yesterday, as I put up a costume of a squid, and it all went all over the place. I was going to start moderating it to get people to behave, and in the end, I just went, I give up, I give up, I give up, all of you. Like, I'm going to have to upgrade all of your files, update all of your files that I've got on you all. Outrageous. It was very funny. I may have bought a life-size squid uniform. I'd just like to say my hair looks wicked. Just say that myself. Just looking at it going, damn, that worked. I like that. I have the mocha today as well. With a big lump of chocolate on top. So there we go. That's me going, woo. So yes, yesterday was very salute prep orientated around the practicalities and some of it which seems like silliness, which I was trying to explain to the casters. I always say the casters like it's this like committee. Louis, who runs CMA, he runs the casting company that I use. He's also my friend and a bit of an ideas bouncer. So I talk to him most days and usually go through all of the stuff that I'm doing, and he normally goes, and then I do it anyway. So I was chatting to him, and it was that whole like, who are you trying to convince? Somebody else or yourself? Like, myself. It's like, these are all legitimate business expenses. They all have business reasons. This is why I'm on partyessentials.com again. So I've kind of been ignoring Salute. I've been ignoring all shows, to be fair, and I've had this attitude of everything's going to be cancelled. Now we're in the month of Salute, as in there is less than a month to go. I've decided that I should probably sort it out. and not just sort it out, make it really good, because I haven't been to Salute for 2 years now, and yeah, we need to get stuff going on. I just got so notice this lighting. It's the lighting. The lighting, I swear. Also, how much I frown. But yes, I am now sort of overnight turned into Salute Beast. Back on my bull crap, as is the term, where I'm like, it's happening. I'm gonna do it. So I guess to be fair, I did go, it's happening. Oh, best get things ready. And then a bit after, I think after going to Partizan last week, I was like, yeah, you know what? Shows. Let's do shows. So I've got all this stuff, and I've got a massive list, which I made a couple of weeks ago because it was very smart of me. I think that was when it was the day after the Kickstarter finished. And I went, and now to do this. So have a mega list of everything that needs doing. It's not my first rodeo. He needs to clean the carpet by the front door. That's what he needs to do. What else is on there? But what's I saying? Blah, blah. Shows. Trade shows. Yes, salute. Yeah, so it's about a month away. I did totally forget where I was going. I had a point somewhere. It'll come back, I'm sure. But yeah, it's gone from like, okay, it needs to happen, to game face, salute time, which I always like myself when I'm in this sort of mode. As Simon will say that, it was peak Annie. Peak Annie is good. So yeah, the show got me, Partisan got me a bit like, yeah, I'm really actually going to look forward to Salute. So yesterday and the day before, I think I was on a bit of a let's crack through some of these tasks, because I've listed the task, very organised when I want to be or when I can. I've got all my tasks sort of like in a list of things that absolutely need to happen, things that would be cool if they happen, things that on the off chance I have some time left, they might be able to happen. Just don't worry about it. So I've been getting the essentials done, the things with the longer lead times as well. So obviously since the last show, we have a lot more stock. And I have so much more. So planning the racks, just planning where everything goes on the rack. I had a very brief, rough go at it just to figure out how many racks I needed. Went to buy a few more racks, and the one company in the UK is out of them. But so Gridwall is the system that basically everybody uses, and it's everywhere. But being extra, I use SlatGrid, which is a mixture of Gridwall and Slatwall, and you can use the accessories from the Slatwall system and the Gridwall system, and it comes in black, so it's like smart. So if you've been at a bad Squiddo stand, you can't quite pinpoint it, but you're like, there's something suave about this, and I don't know what it is. That's it. So actually, there's none until January. So they were out of stock. So I phoned them and went, "Hey, SlatGrid," and the lady was like, "No, not another person for SlatGrid." I said, "But you're the only UK people that have it." She said, "Yes, it's becoming very evident." Obviously, shows have started up, not just wargames, but everyone's suddenly gone, right, we need SlatGrid. She's gone, "No, we can't get it in." So it's fine. I've solved that. I've solved it. And she did have some pegs left, so I've actually managed to bodge together what I've got, and it will still be suave. Phew! I know you were very concerned there, but it is fixed. So they've been purchased, and yeah, it's just the boring things like racks, legs. The amount adds up. That goes quite quickly into the many hundreds buying this stuff. I've no idea if anyone has a vague sort of idea of how much those sort of things cost. It's even just the basic stand, and obviously I've got a load of stuff anyway, so I have to buy an entire stand. But there's things like repairs, because after the last show before the war, I just disassembled everything. There were loads of repairs and replacements needed to happen and all that, and now it's I've got to do it now. And I have said for the last 18 months that I'll do all my salute prep the week before whilst crying, but I'm not. Look at that. Get me. What's going? Nowhere can do same day shipping. So I've actually got my stuff together. What else have I been purchasing? Bad Squiddo spent a lot of money yesterday. Balloons. I've written balloons. I've got my usual balloons and helium for the show, so we can have our big balloon, which does serve a purpose rather than looking cool. Because there's always, I think I mentioned this before, there's always this weird like willy competition thing at Salute, and the shows in general, but it's more evident at Salute, where everyone tries to like get their banner a little bit higher than everyone else's banners, and then I rock up and like thinking outside the box. balloons. So I normally have my trail of balloons to the ceiling, and it means that you can find me wherever you are in the hall. Look to the skies and you will see the beacon of Bad Squiddo. Isn't that lovely? Very easy to find this year because we're right at the back. We are in the spot where Heresy normally is because he sadly cannot make it. But I will be, so it's right next to Hassle Free basically. So they're the far left corner. So you go up there and then I'll be to the right of it. So what a cool corner. And handily near the toilets. for once, yes. So I've bought the balloons for that. As always, spent longer than I need to on the party website, just looking through everything, going, how can I make that work? How can I make that work? I've got an interesting new balloon situation that we will find out on the day. We will find out whether it works or not. Morning, Dave. You did join at the proper time. I got a lump of chop. I'm not complaining. It's still good. It's like black teeth. Right. I think I'm nearly into the coffee bit now. It's because I was rushing and doubled it all in. So, I bought a glitter curtain, which again is of use. So again, having this back wall could be a really good thing. I did originally go, back wall, I hope people find us, but Hassle Free always do okay, so hopefully we all do. But there's always this like needing to get behind, and you can't quite because of where someone else's stand is. But now I've got a back wall. I'm intending, I need to do the full-on show, because I basically do like, there's a lot of method behind this, like, what would seem random is actually not. There's a lot of planning goes into this. So when I'm sorting a new show layout, because a lot of shows now, I've got a standard layout, but something like Salute, it's like, right, I can't remember the term. Like when you're doing interior design, you basically like grid it all out. I do that, and sometimes I even have little paper racks and things and move them around, or sometimes I do it in Photoshop, but sometimes I quite like to do it on a bit of paper and just sort of figure out where things go. And it's always nice to have an accessible but kind of not accessible area. So I was browsing through and saw glitter doors for a few quid, only a few quid. So those that get at parties, I see a big wasp there, where, yeah, they just dangle down and you can go through. So I've no idea if that'll work. That's something we'll find out on the day. But to have a backstage area, basically, where I can actually access stuff, that could be cool. And it's got, let's say, a natural barrier. It does mean I'm going to get tangled up in it at some point. And be like, going, help me, whilst all the racks all fall in on themselves. But that's part of the fun. Yes, Daniel, you can carry me around in your phone. It's very bizarre, isn't it? Oh no, go through to the kitchen. Ah. Was that a good good experience there? We've got that. Staff, been trying to sort out the staff. Obviously, notes. Obviously, I normally have a whole bunch of people at Salute. I'm trying to get a whole bunch of people, and even more a whole bunch of people, because if anyone gets pinged or has to isolate or gets COVID or any of that, then I'm screwed. So I need extra ones, basically. So I've been trying to get that sorted. I today think we'll be typing out my staff handbook, which is a mixture of previous year's staff handbooks, to be fair. Again, you don't expect this from me, but this is all the stuff that goes on. I'm a beast. So staff handbook is basically just, I give it to everyone before the show, usually email it or print it out and bring it as well, where it just sort of goes through what we're generally up to today, things that are new. I've spoke to everyone beforehand anyway, but it's just like a nice bit of paper reference, and the rules as well, which I haven't got in front of me, but it's generally, so some of the rules, again, you might not know this, so I'll tell you. Carla will be listening intently. There's lots in there that just go, if you need to break, do it. Oh my God. But yeah, for example of some of the rules we've got, it's stuff that makes sense, but you're like, oh, just to have it beforehand is really good. One of them is no slagging off other companies, which can be really easy to get into because somebody can go, oh, your stuff's way better than such and such, and then you're like, yeah, they suck. But it's obviously not professional. So things like that, get them all trained up on. So you can say, oh, I don't know much about that company, or I'm glad that you can always deflect. You don't have to be like, yeah, they suck and they smell. You can just go, well, I'm glad that we can give you the thing that you like. Things like, when I used to work for the Big Issue, we had to write out things like, what's the word? Terms of conduct and stuff. So one of the phrases we ended up using a lot was any action that will bring the Big Issue into disrepute. So it's kind of like that with Bad Squiddo. So it's all obvious and all things that nobody that beyond my stand would be doing anyway, but just in case. So it's things like, watching your language, try and keep everything not sweary, which is the rule is for me basically, or swear quietly. Which again is a rule for me. Things like that, things like if you need to eat, go and eat, but don't eat on the stand. If you eat like away from the stand, things like that. If you need to use your phone, off the stand. Basically, so anyone who is on the stand is there ready to, especially at Salute, it's like beast. If you see someone you know and you want to have a chat, that's also absolutely fine, but just don't stand in front of the racks, things like that. So those are some of the little examples. Others will just have a list of like roughly what the things are, what to do if this happens, what to do if that happens, and all that sort of stuff. It's not just a list of don'ts. It's like information on where the food is, where the water, because I want to make sure there's lots of water for everyone, which is another thing on the many list. Got to make sure everyone's all alive. Salute needs a swim. That's going to be my glitter curtain, and then I'll forget that it's not soundproof. You can go behind the curtain, and then back. Hello, yes. How can I help you? So yeah, all that sort of rough schedules and things like that. But yeah, don't worry, Carla. I'll go through all this beforehand as well. It's going to be soon when I actually sort that out. Get people sorted with t-shirts and stuff like that. So I know a lot of people have already got a t-shirt, but I no longer fit my t-shirt from before pandemic, so I've asked if anyone else wants to go try theirs on before they confidently say they've still got one. So stock, yes, figuring out kind of what we need to bring spares of. Yeah, no saying things like we need more chainmail bikini. Yeah, the thing about these social justice warriors is get off my stand. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, trying to I've started. I haven't fully done it, but got to go through what to bring spares of. Now the range is massive. I cannot bring spares of everything, so you got to think, what will people want? I never get it right. Never. There's always something that just sells out in 10 minutes, and I spend the whole day going So yeah, pre-orders. I've set the website now so that you can put pre-orders in. To pick up at Salute, which always helps me loads. Even if you know you need some things, but you don't know exactly. If you definitely need X things, could you get them and get them, put them as pick up at show, and you can always buy more stuff when you're there. But it means that I can at least sort of vouch for some stock. That's the main sort of reason. Sharky, speaking of t-shirts, do we find a design for Sunday Morning Coffee Gang? We do. I haven't sorted out any sort of t-shirts yet, but I've got it on my list to at least get some badges ready in time for Salute, but I will see. Although it would be cool, wouldn't it? I might do a poll. I'll do it in Baggy's Cave, but I'll also do it on here too, because I know you're not all on the Facebook. But a poll of how many people would like them in time for Salute, because I could actually add them to my t-shirt. Oh, smart. Could add them to my t-shirt order for the staff t-shirts, because I'm gonna have to do that anyway. But yeah, it's just like all of the things. Merch, I might get some merch ready. I'll at least get some merch ready, because I am doing stickers and badges for the Kickstarter. And obviously the more you order of something, the cheaper things get. So instead of just ordering the Kickstarter ones, I'll be ordering some other designs at the same time. So it means we can guarantee there will be stickers and badges. I don't know what else, whether I'll get, I have got it on my list, but it's not on the urgent to get some more mugs ready, because they're always a, oh, I moved my chair, I've got my hand on this chair, foot. There are always things that go well at Salute. Carry bags, just all these little things, but things that I'm not leaving till the last minute. So that was actually very productive, and it made me feel a bit better about working on Saturday, because it wasn't anything too intense. It's just like, yay, shopping, spending bad Squiddo's money on boring things, but some of them are boring, like balloons. So yes. I'm past the danger chocolate now, so we're okay. So that's all the sort of Salute stuff. I assume if you're watching this, you might not be going to Selwig, but you might be going a bit later. So if you are, Selwig, was it South East London Wargames? Are having a show today in South East London, I guess. And Great Escape Games will be there, and they will have Bad Squiddo minis. So if you want to go over and say hello to them and buy some stuff, that would be cool. I'm not there, as you can see. Too far for me. So I know only travel within an hour of where I live, unless it's Salute. What else is on this list? Selwig. Packaging. I've been doing a lot of packaging. So much, and I had to do a new spreadsheet for that to figure out what needs packaging in time for Salute, or just in general. So going through that. So some of the latest releases, you know, it's the packaging with the picture, and I want to get that done for the Soviets as soon as possible, so that when I let the retailers have them, they get them nice, basically, with the nice pictures on. So I did a bunch of them. I'm still waiting for the last few to get painted from the Soviets. I need to prod John today. Carla's been painting a back of... Carla's been painting some of the older terrain that I just hadn't got around to getting painted. So I've got a whole bunch of that. And luckily, I did edit most of the photos for the Kickstarter. So it's just a case of putting that onto packaging. So there's so much packaging coming next week, which is awesome. There's still loads to do, but doing it, I've just had it as this like immense task that I need to do, and it is absolutely immense. It's very expensive getting all of the different pictures sorted as well, but again, it makes sense. But that has been ace. So being able to get a chunk at a time is good. So I've done it in 3 chunks. I've got 3 loads of things coming tomorrow. Is my phone doing a bleep? Oh, it's TikTok. It's not TikTok saying that I've blown up. Oh, I got a video like. That's how rare they are. My fame on TikTok is small. So yeah, packaging. Sorry, the photos. So I've done all that this week, but I've also had 3 days off. So that's been a heck of a 3 days that I've put all that into. Also doing some trade orders for the shops as well. And yeah, again, like the stuff I talk about is just a sliver of all of the things. It's the things that I think might be of vague interest, but there's always so many bits and bobs. So despite my chirpy up appearance, I've been in quite a miserable week, to be fair. And then I've just been like, you know, we talked about the Annie roller coaster. It's currently like this. It's like the death coaster. So I've had a bit of a crappy week. Aside from that, I wanted to vaguely, I don't talk about my personal life very much, for a reason, because why would you want to? Unless it's fun stuff. Well, fun stuff. If it's things that are relevant, like going to museums or anything. But I figured that I could, and I can frame it, like I've written it here, in terms of more of my behind the scenes, because the Sunday morning coffee has become a bit of, well, it's a mega informal, but there's a lot of that sort of behind the scenes information on running war games companies that I think people get sort of information, get some use out of, that I might not put, in an interview or in its own video. So I thought I might as well go on to that. So there's the four burners theory, which I'm a fan of. I'm not a fan of it, but it makes sense in my head. And it's that your life is four burners, and you can edit them, but the default setting that they sort of give to the train of thought is that there's work, friends, relationship, health. I think that was it. And that there's not enough gas to do all four burners at once, but it's not too depressing because it doesn't mean that you have to give anything up. But at certain stages, I'm doing this, but you can't see it, do burners. At certain stages in your life, you might focus more on one burner or another, and it's usually like there's probably like two burners on the go. So you can't basically, you can't hack it, you can't make all four on, but you might maybe have one burner on max and one on a bit lower, one on the simmer, that sort of thing. I've been attempting to do all four, and it turns out you can't hack it. As much as you think you can hack the system, you actually can't. And I was thinking, so I'm not getting choked up, I'm choking on chocolate. I was thinking about this is like a sermon now. I was thinking about the word sacrifice and Bad Squiddo, and kind of what I've sacrificed for Bad Squiddo to work and to exist and all that sort of stuff, but not in a bad way, and not in a, because again, I talk about the highs and lows of all this, and I never want to think that I'm there like some martyr going like, I do all this for you guys and it sucks, like, because I talk about things being hard and all that, but that's just, that's how things are sort of up and down. So I absolutely love Bad Squiddo, so don't get me thinking Bad Squiddo's ruined my life, because it has not. It's kind of made my life. But I was thinking about things that by running Bad Squiddo I kind of missed out on a bit, or things like that. And it's obviously quite a lot, but I have gained so much from Bad Squiddo, so it's not like it's just this drain on my life. But even though it's been 7 years now, it's still, I think the combination of like me having various mental health things on the go, my recent discovery that there's probably ADHD in there as well, and just trying to manage all of that with all sorts of other bits and bobs thrown in there it's going to be difficult. So I feel like I'm not in a standard position maybe that you'd be 7 sort of years on. So it's still relatively early days in that sort of sense. I think there's always going to be this point where you're just like fully burning through just to get things set up. And I'm still in that sort of stage. And I know that's not going to be it forever, because if it was, I would have failed, because you set the thing up and then you kind of get it rolling and you get things like extra staff, or you get better systems, you then have more money to invest in better systems. So, you eventually that sort of company owner that gets to swan in a bit, do the nice things and have everyone else do the bits, and, and that's all good. And I know that that's where it's going to go. But at the moment, I'm still in this grind. And the last few months, probably this year to be fair, has turned into just like a bit of a constant grind. And it's always difficulty between you need to take time out and rest, and grind. And as much as people can, sort of say you need to chill out a bit more, there's always an amount of grinding that you've got to do. It's always on your mind. And I know like plenty of people here are either self-employed or have been self-employed, and kind of be going, yep, it's that whole like, it's there on your mind all the time, and it is number one. So the absolute number one thing for me is Bad Squiddo. I was trying to rank Bad Squiddo or guinea pigs, and I couldn't figure out if guinea pigs worked, but they probably are second because they don't like pay my rent. They don't take from my rent as much as I love my pigs. But yeah, so Bad Squiddo is it for me basically, and it's really hard, and I think I have had to have that sort of extra, again it sounds like extra sort of struggles being a woman. It's been extra hard as well in that sort of industry, and having to fight a lot more gets really exhausting, and exhausting is definitely the term that I I use a lot. I am generally exhausted, but it's worth it. And I was thinking that it was 3.5 years ago now that I left my entire life in Cardiff to come here for Bad Squiddo, which is obviously like a bit of not the ultimate sacrifice. I didn't need to kill anybody, but I left everything to give Bad Squiddo this new sort of lease of life, and it's worked and it paid off. Moving to Nottingham's been a brilliant thing. Turns out I love Nottingham. I didn't expect to, so that's a bonus. Because at the time I was like, I'm doing this for work, it's got to be done. But I actually love Nottingham. I really love it. I feel really at home here. It's cool, and having lots of people around, I know it's wicked. But that was a big deal, and I've lost. There's lots of sort of social events or things like that I don't. Haven't been able to do, and it's always difficult talking to people who aren't self-employed, and it's not a hierarchy thing. It's just that lack of experience. Like, I can't empathize too much with someone in too much of a different experience to I'm having, that it makes sense that people wouldn't fully get it, and it's always been this sort of struggle. So the last 7 years or so, with like friends or partners and things, with like, but you're self-employed, you can take off whatever time you like. You're like, no, I need, and because it's me choosing to do a thing, so like I cannot attend or do this thing because I have to work, and there's no boss telling me I have to work, it's me choosing to work. So then it's kind of this like, you're bad. But I feel like on terms of sort of getting to that like stability, I'm probably at like 70-80% of the way there. I think the next couple of years are going to be really sort of paramount to getting this sorted. And it's things like old systems that I was using. The company has grown so big basically in a short amount of time, so I've got to revamp old systems. So I'm like juggling lots all the time just to keep it running. And sometimes there's just nobody buys stuff for a little while, so you're like, oh crap. So you have to do more sort of spamming. And I think as well that you have to, it's always, apart from this show basically, it's always this like fully positive sort of like output, and it's always like, yes. And people then will go, I thought you were having a rough time, but you've obviously not. You're lying because you're projecting this sort of like happiness. Like, yeah, that's work that I have to do to make money. I don't know where I'm going with this, by the way. But yeah, I was just thinking about the stuff that I have not been able to do because of running a business. But I also wouldn't change it. And it is, I said this for years, it is temporary. I am starting to get, even with COVID, it's just a little bit more where I can get out, do a few more things. Because obviously a lot of my funds are all sort of tied up in either Bad Squiddo, or I don't pay myself very much because we need to grow it all. And this is all normal. This isn't me being a martyr. It's what you do in those sort of, so it's not early days, but it's relatively early days. And you've just got to keep doing it. And it is your entire life. And I think if it was a standard wargames company, if I was just making models that were cool, I don't know if I'd still be doing it. I think I'd maybe switch to doing it part-time and get a day job or something like that. But Bad Squiddo is what I want to, it's kind of my life's work. It's a massive deal. And I want to be doing this forever, in some sort of capacity, maybe change. maybe I become a big CEO and have Squiddo World, and but I genuinely absolutely love this, and I love what we're doing. So like the figure part is cool, it's obviously cool at design figures, but what I really love is it sounds so cheesy, the community and getting more people into gaming, this sort of thing, bringing people together, and largely educating people about the women from history. And there's so many little directions I can go off from that, so at some point maybe like miniatures might be a wing of something that's even bigger, and that just bringing light to women from history that have done some stuff that people should know about. And that's where it's really got my heart at. And again, just seeing, like, being a partisan and seeing people so happy that the stuff exists. It's like, it is more than just this, like, I am making a product. It's this huge thing. But if I've given up, basically, I was just playing with some terrain. I've got some terrain over there from Fenris. If I give up now, basically, or just stop and go, okay, I'm going to work normal 9 to 5 hours because that's what I need to do, it's not going to work, and I'll have come this far. So I need to keep going, basically. I've got an entire ramble about this, but I'm hoping it makes some sense. Again, it's not a complaint at all. It's just that sort of, this is how it is. So obviously I can't do all 4 burners, and work is a large amount, but I don't see it as a problem because it's what I want to do. And yeah, people work differently. Some people prefer to do like I am. Some people prefer to just do it, get it out of the way. But yeah, I absolutely love Bad Squiddo, and it is my number one. Which does mean that, yeah, those other burners, my health has been absolutely. I think I'm rocking on 1 burner at the moment, to be fair. The work burner. My health is absolutely appalling at the moment. Maybe I'll sort that out, maybe, because I know that makes a big difference. But yeah, it just means, like, I've had, if you can read between the lines, and again, I'm laughing, but it sucks. I've had a crappy week, and I've come to realise that it's going to be me and Squiddo for a long time. But that's just how it is. And with the overwhelm that I talk about as well, it's like the stuff in my mind, sorting Salute, seems to put me at this constant, like, 80% overwhelm at the moment. Again, all at the moment. And there's just no brain space for anything else. And if I'm not doing Squiddo, I pretty much just want to be sleeping, chilling out with guinea pigs. And then that's kind of it. That's me at full. And there's just no space in there. And I guess I've kind of come to accept that this week, that I can't do all 4 burners, because it's like, do them all, but they all suck. It's that spreading yourself too thin sort of thing. So yeah, what's going on with that? I've got some burners, moving to Nottingham, more than minis, yes, all of that stuff. So yeah, it's been a week. It has been a week. Yeah, Salute by itself is a huge thing, and at the moment with Salute, World War II, I've got, again, I just don't want to, like, list them, but I've got so much stuff, and again, this is always the stuff that I list that's purely work. And I know I did start a thing last year where I was trying to separate, well, not separate, but try and find Annie again, because I was like, I don't know if there's an Annie, it's just a work monster. But what we got there? So looking at the thing there. Ooh. There's something on the bottom. Oh no, it's just the print. But yeah, I have been back doing some more fun things, which is cool. But there's a limit, I think, and it's like you need to choose one way or another. And I've chose the way of the Squiddo, but it will pay off, I believe. Ooh. I've got a cool box here. So that was a bit of a personal. But yeah, hopefully that was of some sort of interest. Again, just me sort of talking about how things are hard, but not in a but Squiddo. It's just facts of the life. I'll be running around in my Squiddo suit. I bought the pink one, and then I thought it looked a bit willy-like, so I got it refunded and bought the blue one instead. There's no orange one. Orange is the best Squiddo colour. But yeah, it's juggling all these things. Basically, we go, how do you juggle all of the things? You don't. You kind of have to choose. What we got there? Oh, don't worry, Daniel. As I say, it's never nothing's never an obligation, which makes it an obligation. So I've been purchasing some things for Annie, not for Bad Squiddo. This is the first to come. It's far too fancy. Look at that. It was a £5. It just looks like it's too good for a £5. Look at all these. I could like kill someone with them. It's a makeup brush set. And I bought it because I've heard people say that makeup brushes are good for dry brushing, and I've been buying a few more brushes. They're quite nice. But yeah, they're brutal. Look at that. Holy crap! Look at that. I could disguise them in my hair. Wow. Yeah, I've heard that they're good for dry brushing. So there's all different sizes. So I'm going to try the little ones out. That looks like it's going to be a good one. And again, for a £5. So I got that. I'm not reading that out. And then I got some bigger brushes for my plants. So they come in these weird little because the plants need a dusting sometimes, and I can't quite get to it. So now I can give them a little dust. I'm going to see if Andy wants some as well, because I don't need that many brushes, but I can give it a go. But yeah, I've got to buy a few more. I could do with a little mascara one. Stroke the pigs with it. You could totally do crystals with that. Because I only need the endy bit. Look at this. So I'll get them all out. Get some thinner ones so they mix. Yeah, look at that. Look at that for cave. That's wicked. That is a good idea. Or hair pieces. Merging in. Yeah, they're cool. So I'll let you know. Do any of you use makeup brushes for hobby? Hey, Katie's there. Whee! Yeah, I have makeup brush for same purpose. My aloe plants and general desk sweeping. Yes, I thought, I'll just get these. But they come in a cool little thing and everything. Oh, cool. That's fun. What was I going to say? I was going to go back to what I was just talking about. I was going to add something on. I think it was just that sort of, it's very stressful with doing all of the work things, and that's just like, a sliver of stuff that there's work, and then you've got to think there's some sort of like Annie life going on there. And then you can't do it all. So that's yeah, the woman who has it all, or maybe you cannot actually have it all. And it's that not cliche, when I kind of go, but I see men in really similar situations and they seem fine and they've got families and stuff. How do they manage that? I'm like, oh yeah, kind of the patriarchy, I guess. Like at one point, this is very personal, but at one point I thought, even if I definitely do not want children, by the way, but even if I did, I couldn't, because if I did, I'd have to close Bad Squiddo Games. And I'm like, loads of men I know have, like pretty much everyone I know that runs a company's got kids. Like, oh, they're men. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just me illustrating the various sort of trials and tribulations, the sort of hurdles to get over this. That sorry, I'm talking about my life horror, but also going, oh, you could airbrush through that. Obviously, there's the double bit. Like you could airbrush that and get some cool things there. Yeah, so totally. Also beginning to get some ADHD diagnosis on top of all that as well. It's a whole thing. There's just so much to sort of through. So anyway, oh, nice little bracelet now. Oh, that's nice. So help my wrists. Actually, it's like a compression glove. So plants. I wanted to briefly mention. I'm going to take all of these off now. Plants have been giving me a lot of happiness, and I didn't realise. I know I've mentioned plants pretty much every blooming week, but yeah, they're really cool, aren't they? And I was thinking that because they're a low maintenance thing that you can potter with, but they still do things, but slowly. I found it's helped with my mental health because there's this like, it's like watching a really slow TV show or something. Because when I'm sad, it's like I want to see what they grow into. Does that make any sense? Like, I've got all these mini plants, and I want to see them get huge. I don't have to do much. Just got to, obviously keep them alive, but just got to give them a bit of water, and then every day they grow by a really little bit, and you can potter about with them. So I like pottering about with them between work because they're all at the office. I've got 3 plants in the house currently, but yeah, they're just there, and I'm like, you're not taxing. They're not taxing yet. So you don't really require any brain energy until they all get bloody frips, which is my fear. I've been looking at these TikToks of guys where the whole or everything's infested and they're going but currently they're all very good. I'm just like, they don't need full sort of care, but every day one of them will give me a little a new little leaf or something, and that's like, and then I think, what are you going to look like in the next year? Dead. But I'm looking at some of them online going, what will you look like when you're larger? Because most of the plants I've got really are small, because I bought them small to be cheap. And you can see the most sort of growth from them. And I just didn't realise. I didn't realise how much of a thing that was. I just thought, they're a burden. I was basically like, that's a thing to what's it? Just another thing to keep alive, sort of thing. But no, it's good. I have found a mental health hobby, and learning about them's been really interesting as well. And that's the sort of thing I can do in my no brain downtime. Because outside of Squiddo, when I'm not at work, I'm generally either knackered or I just don't want to think about things, and that's why I'm not a fan of sort of larger board games and things, because I'm just like, I can't. I'm just at this constant I can't. So possibly later today I might be playing some games with Andy, the housemate, after he's cleaned the carpet by the front door. But I said, when he said last night, do you want to play anything Sunday evening? I immediately said, not ball action. But I can't. He said maybe some code names. Yes, I can cope with code names. So I definitely will be doing that. I could even go a bit wild and suggest we play Walking Dead, because we haven't played that for a really long time. But yeah, I just want everything. Just want everything to be enjoyable. So I'm rambling today. We've got the Squid Game. Oh, I watched all of Squid Game. I know it's the in thing right now, so I occasionally like to do a thing that everyone else is doing, so I'm a bit culturally relevant. So I watched Squid Game. It's good. I know if you haven't seen it, you'll be like, oh, everyone's talking about it. And I do that. I go, everyone's talking about things. I don't really want to watch it. But it's only 9 episodes, and I did get a bit hooked on it. And I now keep thinking of different Squid Games I can make the guinea pigs and Andy play for a Big Brother situation. of like who gets to stay in the house. Although one of the tasks was eating hay, and Andy wasn't really up for that. So yeah. I know I occasionally like to give a little review. Remember when we used to have Bad Film Saturdays? And I feel like we should do that again. We did watch Cannibal the Musical, which was not a bad film, it was wicked, and that's got some cool songs in it, so that was good. But yeah, I really struggle basically planning anything outside of work, because it's just things can happen, and there's always just this, one thing that can pop up and cause a, and there's no one else to sort that. So yeah, it might be a weekend, and like yesterday I was in the office all day because I have to, and that was partly to catch up from the week's sort of sadness. I was going to go to the office today, but I think I'm going to work at home. I am going to work because I've got a lot more to do and I've got to catch up. Again, time is ticking for Salute, and I'd rather do stuff now than the week before crying. But I think I'm going to do it at home so I can be in my jogging bottoms, basically. So yeah, that's good. That's good. Squid Game good. Those things. New Grace Petrie album is amazing, so I've been listening to that a lot, so you should do that too. Plants I've written down. Next week's plans. More Salute prep. Pledge Manager for the Kickstarter will be out. I've been way ahead. In my packaging, I even ordered some of the packaging for those figures. How far ahead is that? I was like, I've got the photos of them. Whack them on packaging. That is a nice treat for future me. Very excited about that. So yeah, that's going to be it next week, I guess. Just got a nose to the grindstone. I've got a couple of trade orders to get out. Oh, I've got something to show you. Right there. Don't go anywhere. I've got a sculpt that you won't be able to see because it won't focus. I feel tired now. I just want to go to bed. And at lunch next. So there's one sculpt from the Kickstarter which is not finished. Ooh. And the sculptor's been having some issues and wasn't going to get it ready in time. Obviously, I want to get this done as quick as possible. So there's even a possibility of having some at Salute. But he's been struggling for various reasons. So I've got, this one's complete. The Landsknecht is complete. But the Undead Lady is not complete. So I've got her posted to me, and I will be harassing sculptors today to find someone who can finish it very, very quickly. I'll probably get Alan, to be fair. The skirt and the head's very well done. It's slightly, very frustrating because I wanted the whole Kickstarter to be all done beforehand. But things can always go wrong. Because that was the only sculpt that wasn't finished before before the end of the Kickstarter. So that's always those sort of risks. But do not worry, because we will get it finished. It may end up being resculpted because some sculptors don't like working on whatever someone else has been doing. But it will be done. And so the Landsknecht is done and is mega cool. There we go. Sweet. And there's going to be, there's all the, what they call tieflings. I don't know if that's a copyright name. All those tiefling type things are done as well, so they will be in the Pledge Manager. Which is exciting, yes. So that's 4 bonus ones, potentially another bonus one as well. And potentially 2 more bonus ones. Although I need to interrupt Alan and see if he'll do this sculpt for me. He's been having a rough time, so he said, "Can you give me some fun sculpts to do?" So he's got 2 fantasy sculpts that he's working on at the moment to complement the Definitely Not Damsels, so they might be ready in time too. After all of this, after this bunch of sculpts, the absolute number one priority is community miniatures, so don't worry about that. That is also keeping me up at night. Yeah, there's just so many things going on, taking up my entire Annie, a little bit left for some guinea pigs, and gorging myself on food. I kind of want to gorge on some food now, but I don't know. I haven't got any. Andy's food. Look at Andy's food. There's 4 tieflings. Can you place 2 orders? Yes, you can. You can always do that. I'll sort something out again. Don't worry. If they're not in that pledge manager, I'll put a little code on them for people who've backed the Kickstarter to get a little money off them or something like that. Especially if Alan gets his 2 done, which are going to be so cool. So cool. Right, today I'm going to be typing up my little staff rules thing. Having this on my hand all day because it's fun. Eating. Oh yeah, I've had breakfast. Breakfast is good. And yeah, so I think that's it. I've been here an hour, so I should probably go. I'm like, oh, friends, friends, please. Right, so yes, thank you to everyone who is excellent. Yeah, you're all excellent. And say it is tough. It's tough. Yeah, that's life. Can't really do anything about that. Well, I could choose to not run Bad Squiddo, which is not what I'd like to do, because it is the best. And say it is my life's work, and it's going to be even more cool. It's kind of my legacy, and I absolutely love it, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm so proud of you lot for like helping it exist. I don't know where I was going with that. But you do, when you are very nice, it makes me very happy. And when you're very appreciative, it's like, hey, this is why I'm doing it. And that's really cool. And that's why it was extra lovely to see loads of you at Partisan last week and just give me that little boost. Because, yeah, it's just me going, is it worth it? Like, it is. So thank you. See you all later. I'm sure there'll be all sorts happening. I need to get a blooming newsletter out as well. Right. Have a wonderful day. Eat your breakfast. I'm going to have an egg wrap. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you for all your support and enabling this. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.